One of the main things that we all wanted to change from college football 25 heading into college football 26 was give us some more coach customization options. Can I have more than two shirt options? Man, did EA ever deliver on that request? We have a ton of coach customization options coming to Dynasty mode in college football 26. Let's talk about them. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back into JC where you can see all kinds of college football video game content with me, JC. Here today, we're going to discuss the new coach customization options heading into Dynasty mode in college football 26. And I think you guys are going to like what you hear here when I play this clip from a previous live stream I did here on the channel. You know, last year we had a polo and a pullover. This year, endless options, not only for what your coach is wearing, but for even how he acts on the sidelines. A lot more customization options involved in not only, like I said, the outfits, but involved in the, creation process. When you're going through there, you're selecting your name, you're selecting your scheme type, you're also selecting pipelines. Now you're selecting demeanor, stance, all kinds of fun stuff, which you'll see here momentarily in the video clip. But before I play that, I just want to take a second. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that way you can get all these news updates directly into your feed. And same goes for the gameplay content. Once this game releases, we'll be bringing to you in less than 2 weeks now here on JCCFB. And you can also help us out just by taking a quick second, hitting that thumbs up button. That helps us out a ton with that YouTube algorithm, helps us find more college football video game fans like yourself. And if you are one of those that can't get enough college football video game content, I'd recommend hitting that join button, becoming a CFB sicko. That's a channel member here at JCCFB. With that, you're going to help us keep this mic recording and that camera rolling. And then also you're going to get a ton of bonus content, including mini schemes, playbook tips, weekly real life college football recap shows, and a lot of other fun stuff we have planned once this game releases. So no better time than the present. Get it on it right here before the game releases, and you can have everything that we're bringing to you there for college football 26 if you're able to become a channel member. I would really appreciate that. But with that bit of housekeeping out of the way, let's dive in here. Let's hear about all these coach customization options that we have now in college football 26. So build your coach. At the heart of your Dynasty mode is your coach. Every decision, every upgrade, and every hire helps define your journey to the top of the world and legacy you leave behind. Last year, they talked at length about what they learned from studying coaches in depth. No coach is great at everything, but there's no single path to becoming a great coach. That belief continues to shape our approach in 26 and remains central to everything we've built. This year, they're focused on deepening that experience, introducing more meaningful decision points and other emphases and further emphasizing, if I get that out right, that every decision matters. Creating your coach. So when you start in Dynasty, just like last year, you can create your own coach or step into the role of an existing one, which will be a lot more fun now because there are existing coaches. Teaser here, my first Dynasty series I'm going to do on the channel this year. I'm just starting as Rich Rod at West Virginia and playing out his 2.0 era here in the video game format before it takes place in real life. So that's what I'm going to be doing as a West Virginia Dynasty as Rich Rod, streaming that here on the channel. But this year, existing coaches and coordinators are in, of course, with more than 300 in the game. Each one comes equipped with their authentic playbook scheme, play calling tendencies, historical career stats, and archetypes, and abilities that reflect their coaching skill set. So that's good. Not only are the coaches there, but they went the extra mile with playbooks to try and, make that more realistic, even have their stats and tendencies and stuff realistic as well. See a screenshot of Lane Kiffin there at Ole Miss. And, for not having a face scan, it's not too far off. And I think one of the other good things we got with the real coaches coming to the game is we got multiple new options for our coaching to wear. Last year we had the two options, the pullover and a polo. Now we're gonna have a ton of new options. They have visors, they have all kinds of stuff. And in addition to that, you can see, look at his level, 61. Last year was capped at 50. This year that's going to be up to 100. I'm sure they're probably going to talk about that. Throughout Dynasty, you have the opportunity to compete against these authentic coaches in-game and on the recruiting trail. As described in the gameplay deep dive, when you play them on Saturdays, you can expect their play calling and tendencies to match their real-world counterpart, adding a layer of immersion. Of course, you'll also have the opportunity to poach them and bring them to your staff in the coaching carousel. Yeah, that'll be cool as well. That's the other added layer that we can talk about now that we're talking about Dynasty mode is, that's one of the more fun things because this was how it was back on 14 when we, had the roster where we could bring in the real coaches and people would create the entire, roster along with the coaches. So they would be involved in coaching carousel. And that's pretty cool, getting to hire, somebody that you knew was a head coach somewhere. Now he's your offensive coordinator, stuff like that. So it's going to make coaching carousel more interesting for 26 dynasties. Just everything already that we know before you even get into this deep dive has me excited for Dynasty. So, man, I'm just about to be ecstatic probably, guys. Y'all going to hear me on cloud nine throughout this stream. If you choose to build your own coach, they've added new ways to customize the appearance, new gear options, let you show off your drip and deck your coach out in everything from a hoodie and joggers to a quarter zip and jeans. If you're really feeling nice, you can grace the sidelines with a sleeveless shirt and shorts that lets everyone know you mean business. Hey, check that out. How about that? You talk about having options, man. You can go out there just letting the guns show, man. That's awesome. I like that. They've introduced coach demeanor and stance customization. Is your coach cool, calm, and collected, or are they high energy, emotionally charged leader that fires it up on the sidelines? So that's awesome. We're going to get more coach cutscenes definitely if they're including that. And it's going to be, is your coach a guy that just kind of stands there stoic, taking the game in, studying, or is your coach someone that's so hype you might need a get back coach, that type of thing. Your choice will influence how your coach stands and acts throughout the game, giving your coaching persona even more personality on the field. And there you see someone making a custom coach, and there it is right there. Demeanor, intense. So there's multiple options there. You get to pick their stance. How do they take you in the game? Hands on knees, adaptive AI, no huddle style. Oh, man, I love that they've added more options to the coach. That's chef's kiss. Going to make Dynasty even better. Coach progression. From the beginning, our design intent for our RPG archetype-based abilities and progression system has been that no coach can be great at everything. How you build your coach and manage your staff matters. Your coordinators either complement your strengths or shore up the deficiencies. This intent still holds true in 26, and they've expanded upon it as well. Last year, they saw players hitting the cap too early, maxing out progression well before the later years of their dynasty, which wasn't intended. While they believe you cannot be great at everything, your coaching journey should still evolve over time with new decisions and challenges emerging each season. In 26, the maximum coach level has been increased from 50 to 100, like touched on there earlier. Additionally, they've completely rebalanced the amount of XP each goal earns to better reflect its frequency and difficulty. They've introduced a new level progression curve designed to provide early momentum while creating a much longer trail of growth. So I like that touch right there. That's even better to me than the 50 to 100 is this right here. So what they're saying with this is, like, when you start off and you're, trying to work your way up, you'll level up quick there, probably for your first, let's say 5-10 levels, just for an example here. But then you get a coach, you get into level 20, 30, 40 and beyond. It's going to take them longer to get to 50, longer to get to 60. So I like the way that they've established that as well. You'll still see meaningful development in the early years, but reaching the top now requires sustained success across the full arc. Progression is heavily influenced by your active archetypes. That's a tongue twister right there when you try and read it too fast and read the words together. Like me, they're getting too hype about this dynasty shit. But progression is heavily influenced by your active archetypes perk, and we've rebalanced all archetype perks to improve overall balance and create more distinct trade-offs. Among three base archetypes, recruiter, motivator, and tactician, tactician now offers the highest XP ceiling, but only if you're consistently winning. It also carries the greatest downside if you're not. I think tactician was what I ran with last year a lot. If I'm not mistaken, it was between tactician and recruiter. I don't think I really used motivator, but motivator and recruiter provide a more consistent game, but a lower ceiling with maximum upside. So I honestly might take the, risk it to get the biscuit and roll with a tactician when I create my coach for the online dynasties. We'll see. The amount of XP from each archetype perk now scales by archetype tier. Elite archetypes, Elite Recruiter, Master Motivator, and Scheme Guru. Scheme Guru was the one of my favorites on last year's game. Offer double the amount of XP as the three base archetypes. Hybrid archetypes like Talent Developer, Strategist, and Architect offer more than elite archetypes, and Program Builder and CEO can offer upwards of 10 times more XP than a base tier archetype. Wow. In order to quickly and efficiently scale your coach level and power, it is imperative that you invest in higher level archetypes and then focus on activating that perk as many times as you can. So interesting. They've kind of switched that up a little bit there. Interesting. So there you see Kirby Smart on the game. CEO, of course, for him, he's a level 80. So he's way up there for Kirby Smart. He's, almost 20 points higher than we saw Lane Kiffin. Remember, your staff doesn't just help you with their abilities. Their active archetype perks contribute to your XP growth as well. Anytime your team triggers one of your coordinator's perks, you share in the XP gains. Choosing the right coordinators can significantly increase your progression speed. So that's pretty cool. So now not only, do you get the bonuses with like the on-field stuff, but when you utilize one of those perks that you have assigned to your coach with the archetypes there, then that gives you an XP boost. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. So like say you're a scheme guru and you have like the no huddle all the way upgraded. When you utilize that in game and have good plays, that's going to provide you more XP because that's at a higher level. That's one of those elite tiers there, scheme guru. As part of this perk rebalance, they've also updated several archetype perks. For example, Talent Developer now has Draft Dividends perk, which awards 3K bonus XP when your players are drafted. The CEO archetype's big game bonus now provides 12,500 bonus XP for each CFP win, as opposed to only national championship wins. I like that. So you get points for CFP wins now as well. That's a nice touch. Coach archetypes. While progression is the engine of your coaching journey, archetypes are the blueprint for how your coach grows and where your strengths lie. In College Football 26, they've made a number of updates to how archetypes are unlocked, balanced, and expanded, all with the goal of making each coaching path more strategic and distinct. To start, the three basic archetypes, recruiter, motivator, and tactician, now require a minimum coach level to unlock. This change encourages more focused investment earlier in your career, making that initial archetype choice even more meaningful. It's no longer a quick jump between archetypes. Instead, your coach will grow into their identity over time. All right, so that's interesting. They're kind of trying to make it to where you kind of have to focus more on one, and then maybe later on you can move to another versus, you could kind of build them all together if you wanted on last game. This time I get 5 XP. I'm gonna get a tactician ability. Next time I'm gonna get a recruiting ability. Sounds like this time it's gonna work a little bit differently. That's gonna be a little bit harder to do. You're gonna have to kind of focus in on one at least early on. This helps reinforce the rock, paper, scissors relationship, not just between archetypes, but also between you and your coordinators. Choosing a staff that complements or counters your strengths is more important than ever. Yeah, good point. They've also introduced scaling archetype costs. Each archetype you unlock becomes incrementally more expensive, encouraging more intentional choices as your coaching journey evolves. Archetypes that are closely related to your current specialization will cost significantly less than those that require you to learn a new skill set. So, if you start as a tactician, the amount to buy the abilities within that tactician group will be cheaper than if you try and go outside and hit that recruiting or that motivator tier. For example, if you start as a recruiter, becoming an elite recruiter will be cheaper than trying to learn a new skill and become a motivator. Just like in real life, it's easier to grow within an existing area of expertise than to take on a new and unrelated skill set. And here we see Marcus Freeman. So he's right around Lane Kiffin. Marcus Freeman's a 63 here. Program builder and CEO archetypes are the exceptions. As broader leadership focused archetypes rather than specific coaching disciplines, they're not impacted by scaling costs and remain more accessible once you meet those unlock requirements. It's always easier to learn a new skill set when you're working alongside someone who's already mastered it. That idea is reflected in the friends and family discountability within the program builder archetype, which reduces the cost of unlocking archetypes already owned by another coach. So that's where they're talking about, get an assistant that complements you. So if you get one and you get that friends and family discountability, then that makes it cost even less for you. You can upgrade a little faster that way. Scaling archetype costs make it even more important to surround yourself with the right people. The right staff doesn't just support your strategy on the field, it can shape the path of your growth off of it as well. Every coaching decision you make matters. Alongside these structural changes, they've also rebranded the abilities inside the archetypes. This rebalance creates clearer trade-offs between archetypes, further emphasizing the rock, paper, scissors relationship between coaching styles. In addition, they've adjusted the cost of abilities within archetype tier to better reflect their impact and importance, encouraging more thoughtful progression as you build out your coach. They've added new abilities across various archetypes, giving you even more ways to specialize and differentiate your coaching identity over time. Let's see if we can get a picture of some of these here. So, talent developer, they're showing D-line here on that one. They're looking to max it out here, which is tier 4, which is 12 points to upgrade that under talent developer. So right now under tier 1, they had bonus XP for the defensive line when they're drafted. Defensive line whisper, freshman and sophomore defensive linemen progress faster. Star Maker defensive line is starting defensive linemen will gain XP faster. And then Home Sweet Home will give you a boost to pipeline bonus for defensive linemen. Now, Coach Carousel, interested to hear about this because I think this is going to be really fun on 26 now with the real coaches involved. They introduced the foundation of the carousel last year, and in 26, they've added more polished feedback and quality of life improvements to make it easier to track movement and make smarter staff decisions. Now you can receive notifications when your coordinators accept or decline job offers. Good to know, as well as alerts when no one is poached for a new opportunity or when one is poached for a new opportunity. Whether they're leaving for a promotion or jumping ship unexpectedly, you'll stay informed and ready to react. I like that because last year I wouldn't even know it half the time, and then I'd pop up my staff and be like, oh, dang, I got to hire 2 new coordinators. Didn't even know they left. So here it is popping up. Offer accepted. Timmy Chang has accepted your offer to become offensive coordinator for next season. So that's someone sending out an offensive coordinator offer in Dynasty. With coordinators playing such a pivotal role in your team's performance and your coach's overall development, they've added 3 new program builder abilities that help you have more control over the hiring and retention process. So, this is also kind of ties into the coaching carousel. Here is some of the new abilities under the program archetype. So, forever home is your coordinators are less likely to leave for another job. That's probably a big one to have if you got coordinators you like. Deal sweetener, coordinators are more likely to accept your job offer. But hey, if you lose one, maybe you do have deal sweetener and you go get another one. And then cream of the crop increases the caliber of coordinators available for you to hire. I like that. That's probably the one I would like to have. Really, is cream of the crop there because that I want to be able to hire the best of the best, right? Why wouldn't I? Maybe that would even make some head coaches available to you, whereas you might not have that if you don't have that cream of the crop ability. They've also rebalanced offer logic so that head coaches at top tier programs now receive better and more consistent job opportunities when the carousel spins. If they've earned their spot, the market will better reflect it. Finally, with the staff move screen, you can now view each coach's previous role in school, their new role in destination, and the reason for the job change. I'm glad to see that because that was on 14. Missed that on this previous game, so glad to see that back. Whether they were promoted, fired, or simply found a better fit, you'll have more context for every coaching movement. And we see a screenshot of that here. We see Dabo Sweeney going to Alabama as the head coach here in this screenshot. That's pretty funny. Shout out my friend Mikey, who's a huge Clemson fan. He'd hate to see that. And we do see that the Dabo Sweeney, we do have his level on here, right? No, that's Eli Drinkowitz, who they was playing here in this dynasty. So, yeah, there it is. Dabo Sweeney, level 81 CEO. And you see he went to Alabama, and the reason, hired by another team. You have another one here, went to the NFL. They got goalies scoring in the NFL. They got Whittingham retiring. And then you see a firing down here. Oh, Hugh Freeze got fired, was hired by Troy as the head coach here in this screenshot. So some funny stuff to look at through there. But there you see, just a little bit of a glimpse to the staff move screen. And just even seeing that gets you excited for coaching carousel, seeing those real names involved there. Matt Campbell going from Iowa State to TCU. Man, we can pick out fun stuff on that screenshot all day. All right, so there they are. A ton of new updates to the way that you can create your coach, how you can make him look on the field, even how you can make him act on the field. So that really was just something that took it kind of over the top for me as far as my excitement level for Dynasty mode, because now when you create your coach, it's going to really, truly feel unique. And of course, with the coach skill cap now raised to a level of 100 instead of 50. A lot of different pathways you can take there with your coach there in Dynasty mode or online Dynasty mode, kind of giving it a true RPG feel when you create that coach, which is really cool here. And I like the way they're continuing to develop and add to that. And it's only going to continue to improve as this game's lifespan continues. And I think we'll see more and more added. But man, we have a lot of fun stuff to look forward to here with 26 that you can tell I'm obviously excited about, but would love to hear how you feel about it as well. Are these coach customization options enough for you? Do you want more still yet? How are you feeling there? Any way that you're feeling, let me know in the comment section. Appreciate those interactions as I continue to try and grow the JCCFB community here. Another way you can help with that is before you head out, hit that thumbs up button, help us out with that crazy YouTube algorithm, and be sure that you're subscribed here to the channel. Not only stay up to date on the news in the lead up to this release, but get a bunch of fun gameplay content once the game comes out as well. I'd really appreciate that, just like I appreciate you tuning into this video, and I will catch you on the next one.